Yep, or 2 for $20. Perhaps you could get a deal, all 3 books, Terry Louise Kelly's one included, for 3 for $30 maybe. Anyway, there's only about 6 of these books, but there's heaps of these ones. Now, I did mention Adelaide. There's a lot of people from Adelaide. I was there a couple of weeks ago at the Squatters Arms Hotel. I can tell you, that place is more tote than the tote. It is rock and roll heaven. So if you're ever in Adelaide, people from Melbourne, go to the Squatters Arms. It is, yeah. you'll either love it or you'll run out screaming. But anyway, please a really big welcome to our first guest from Adelaide on the stage, Sean King.
Come on, Sean!
Thank you very much. The squatters, you'll probably run out screaming. Well, Melbourne. I heard Melbourne poets were really, really good, and like Melbourne poets kick ass, man. These guys are really good. I'm going to do some reading from like The Dog I Am, and I'm going to read one of Terry Louise's poems as well. Woo! From Dead with his legs spread out. I'm going to start off with Terry Louise's. All right, this one's called Where Old Punks Went. Groping for sensibility in a burned-out microwave. The wheel turns, anti-clockwork orange. The agents of anarchy moved to Bel Air, bought swimming pools and danced with dichotomy. Merchandise and mohawks, held together with safety pins, went reel to reel, begging for spit in a dry font. You know, I grew up in Melbourne, or I grew up in Victoria, born in Melbourne. The old man here, he grew up in Brunswick. He used to spend a lot of time around this hotel. And the grandfather used to play, was a pool shark for Squizzy Taylor across the road at an old pool hall. This poem's called Maybe Your Last. It's from Like the Dog I Am. You grab your boots, your guitar, and your fear of tomato soup, and head out into the world, content with your knowledge that what you've got is all you have, and what you have is all you've got, and your next kiss, smile, tear or cigarette may be your last. Alright, this one's a bit of flash fiction. I've been asked to read this one. It's a little bit longer than normal. It's not really a poem, but it's a little bit of flash fiction. It's out of the book. It's called Wednesdays Like Hemingway and Jews and Freedom. Hope it's not too long for you. She came around on a Wednesday. It was after hearing that I'd destroyed my life and severed my love. Again, no less. She brought wine with her. I don't drink wine. I can't drink wine. Here, she says, I bought wine. I poured us a couple of glasses and she settled in for an attempt at the long haul. Alcohol, it seemed, was where I was being drawn again. An inability at peace and quiet, the only draw card to fuel further hatred of what I had become. I guzzled. The taste was like acid, and the acid was what the order of the moment turned out to be. So, she said, I was reading your book again today. Yeah, my book. My blatant attempt at creating some type of self-justification for the fucked upness of my wandering mind. Your work is good, she says. Sometimes too good. My work is my honesty, and my honesty is my downfall. You of all people should understand that. Honesty hurts people, I know. You've told me that before. I've told you many things before, but it's never made a difference to life, to us, to the world around us. Words, that's all they ever were. It's all my life has ever been. Drinking another glass amidst the silence that emanated undertones of her sexuality and my discontent proved only to scare me into the reality that alcohol could be my downfall, like it came so close to being so many years ago. With that, I grabbed the bottle and refilled our glasses. She was wearing a dress. It was short. It was a short dress and her thighs seemed large, enticing. Like crystal clear water on a streaming day or a loaded gun when all becomes far too fucking much. Like it is now. You know, she says, I've always loved you, wanted you. She moves those thighs when she speaks and I see a glimpse, though ever so slight, of blue panties. It stirs my rampant groin. So you've said, I say. Look, babe, I don't know what to say about that. I want to fuck you. I want to fuck you right now, right here. And then I want you to go away. I don't need this. Christ. I can't even get it together enough to eat. All I do is sit here in this dark room, this dark world and this dark mind, and drink bitter coffee after bitter coffee and smoke cigarette after fucking cigarette, writing words in a pad that will never see the light of day. I'm destroying myself from the inside out, and it's all I can do. She puts her glass down and opens those thighs of steel. I get a longer look at those panties and the shape of that wet pussy, that animal instigator. I get a glimpse of my downfall, and everyone's downfall. I get a glimpse at my impending future, and I wonder for just a short moment in time whether women will put on this earth to destroy the male population in an attempt to maintain a needed male and female balance. Glass down and legs again closed, she moves from her chair to work on my zipper while I sip at the red and create great fantasies about a world with no rules, where dogs of war no longer dictate the future of masses they have never met, let alone cared for in any way. She sucks hard and she sucks well, though not as well as the last, or the one before that, but close. This is what it all comes down to, the animalistic desire to sow your seeds through fornication. We are animals, just like the cats and lions and birds and snakes and elephants and fucking insects. Our only difference is the ability to hate so much between the moments of desire to nurture and carry on the species. And with the moment she stands and removes her dress. That dress, the cover that's worn through shyness and prudence and more. That dress which now lies humped at feet, still encased in bright red heels. Her breasts are quaint with no real shape, yet already the sign of age drags them towards the ground. Antiquities in the making. Gravity, the force that works against us all. And thumbs locked in the bands of those revealing and blue panties dragged downward, while that very gravity contradicts the outcome and makes the whole show an awkward attempt at sexy. Fuck me, she says. I empty the last of the wine from the bottle, drop it to the ground, assess the 60s bush and wonder whether I now sit in a time warp, a non-reality. Free love that is never really free. Freedom that is just a covert word for restriction put in place to stop the writers writing and the rapists raping and the Germans from ever having to admit their stupidities. I drape her over my chair. I fuck her hard. She moans and I wonder about those moans. Are they real or just the need of an expectation set by the very same society that dictates we live by a mythological list of commandments put in place as a means of excuse to get rich, to justify dictation? I opt for the latter with all disdain and drive harder and faster, like it's a last-ditch attempt to get across the finish line of life, The finish line of life, and I fuck her and she moans, and I fuck her harder, and she moans harder and harder and harder, and all it means, jack shit at the end of the day, the year, the world and life. She orgasms and I don't, because I just don't anymore. The pleasures derived from life are far and few between, and this whore that now lies panting and sweating and semi-ejaculating over my life is no exception to the rule. I don't come because this outer shell is all that's left, and I don't come because I don't exist anymore, any more than a leper's fantasy for a long life full of love and sexuality. I don't come. I can't. I push her out the door, throw those blue panties out after her. She looks hurt and frightened and confused, and I don't care about that either. You got what you came for, and now it's time to leave me alone. Go. Go. Go gossip about your glory and your pride, and tell the lies you so need to tell to make it seem different than what it really was. Go. Go live your life in your bubble. while clinging desperately to your dreams. Go, go, go. I have. I did. And I never came back. That is the reality of what awaits. Nothing more and nothing less. But why, she pleads in all her femininity? Because like Hemingway and Jews and freedom and truth, I am dead. Thank you. Actually, this one here, watching the world go by like a country of dogs, it's called. I wrote this on a train on my way from Bendigo to Melbourne last time I tripped here. She's been staring at me the whole time, with that look on her face. The girl sitting in front of the fat fuck. The ugly fuck with the stretch mark love handles, fighting for supremacy with a gut too large for a hippo, let alone a human fucking being. Maybe she wants to fuck me with her pierced nose, her pit stop lips and her stocking-clad legs. I wonder what it would be like for her, and for Fatso too. I wonder what it would be like for him, a virgin to anything but his hand and maybe a vacuum cleaner. She's cleaning her purse now. Maybe she wants to pay for it, or maybe not. Not here, not now. I must look like a treat, a testament to the pathetic chronicles of a despot poet, the last of her breed and the first as well, like a fucked over automobile, the first in a 20-car pilot. I wonder how it would feel to sit in a truck stop in Santa Fe watching the world go by like a country of dogs, and a fridge so cold all it does is warm the beer. And that is where it lays. A life of words, a charity of hate, a blues song written to chill the soul of the most humble of masterminds. A journey on the train from nowhere to nowhere, where Dali doesn't paint anymore, where Burton is just a figment of his own two imaginations, and Bukowski still pushes a pen from his lonely, drunk and pessimistic grave. I look at her again, the woman that looks at me with those fuck-me eyes, and she still stares. Later, I whisper to her across the now-packed sheep cart. We stare today. Later, maybe I will fuck you later. Thank you. Alright, and this one's the last one that I'm going to read tonight. Remember that if you want any of these books, Terry Louise's or any of these books, that you can come and see us at any time tonight. This one's called Butterflies in a Summer Monsoon. Sounds a little bit poetic, but it's not. Gin, like the poor man's cocaine. Fucked over, it's all the very same. Sitting on a brick letterbox, naked, in the wee hours of a morning too young. I should not have been there, yet I was, floating in the midst of a 1 degree morning, wondering why the streetlights curled and twisted around me, instead of remaining stationary like they should be. Sitting on a brick letterbox, naked, in the wee hours of a 1 degree morning, where the cold does not exist, replaced by numb mind, numb body. No one can help me now, not that I feel visible, in the darkness that festers within. Gin, it doesn't come quick enough, leaves too soon, like butterflies in a summer monsoon, when it all seems it's all you have. Thank you very much. Thanks.